This feels strange. Like, just really weird, you know?
Yeah, I know. It feels empty. How are you feeling, big guy?
Yakon, the god of male aggression, Yekka, the goddess of female aggression, and Mojo Jala, the god of stories, sat in a row on the beach of Kazai Island. As always, it was a beautiful day on the island of the gods and goddesses. And yet, a strong sense of sadness had taken hold of the three of them. Yakon was in the middle, with his twin sister on one side, and the larger, more fluffy god on the other. Both he and Yekka stared at Mojo Jala, who beamed his gaze toward the unbroken horizon.
I miss her too. She was always the initiator and encouraged us to do fun things. Without her here, we aren't the same as we once were.
I still can't believe what she did. Then again, Balia is, or was, the goddess of mischief and discord. What better way to end her career than shake up the pantheon?
Ha! Remember how much Uida's eyes bulged when Balia said she wanted to give up her powers? I thought she was going to explode!
Sadiba wasn't any better. Oh, her silence was even more ominous than Uida's rage. That reminds me of the time when she and Ototala had an argument and it created a typhoon.
I still can't believe they actually let her do it. For that matter, I can't believe she wanted it.
I had a feeling. For a long time.
You did? Really? How come you never told us?
But I wasn't totally sure, and it wasn't my place to say something either. She always had this sadness in her eyes, especially when it came to talking about her favorites.
Oh yeah, that I can verify. Every century or so, Balia would go off on one of her little sabbaticals, but she always kept in touch.
Not like this last time.
Yeah. Why was this last time so special? I totally thought she died.
We all did. Remember? Dumbass.
Yeah, whatever. So what was it about this time that made it so different?
Do you remember the story where Balia was sailing the sea during the time of the voyages, and she got snagged by Movada?
Oh, you mean when she almost died, right?
One of the Voyagers actually saved her, if I recall.
Oh yes, that Voyager was the grandmother of the two Aoela Islanders who were with Balia.
Ah, that makes sense. So Balia was paying back the debt she owed to the family by supporting and protecting the grandchildren.
You just now figured that out? I feel so bad for you. I got blessed with all the beauty and brains and you...
Shut up! I'm smart about some things, but I just didn't know how the human Rin and Balia's boy toy were connected to all this.
We talk about this as if they were just here, but time works differently for us. Rin and Lycos were on the first island 5 Aoela years ago.
Really? Huh. We never change, and so it's easy to forget that the Aoela world zips by at a breakneck pace. Huh. No wonder why Balia was always sad about her favorites withering away.
Remember the time when the four of us spent like 10 years living on Asiba Island? All those tricks we played on the poor seers. The Spirit Mother was so mad.
Yeah, I don't know what was worse. The scowl, or the fact that she dragged us back here to Kazai Island by our ears.
And several savage finger wags to the face. Don't forget that. I remember there was this fine seer girl named Versama. She gave the best cuddles.
I loved hearing the stories from the Taudemonia. They all had such rich lives. I think I spent more time in unseen god mode than mulling about. It was you and Balia who did most of the pranks on the people there.
Yeah, we were always trying to one-up one another. Balia was always someone who understood what I was going through, you know? Yes, we were all born from imagination, but she was another goddess, just like me.
Is that why you hated all of Balia's other favorites?
Yes! Balia was my best friend, and I didn't like sharing her. There have been some good ones, like the one she had on Voldo and Rin. Now that she's gone, who's gonna relate to me now?
Well, maybe Senra will take the challenge one day and become the new goddess of discord. After all, that's what the other gods and goddesses decided. Balia's former goddess nature was collected in that necklace she wore for the last 5 Aoella years. One day, someone else will take on the mantle. Maybe it will be Senra.
Yes, but Senra will never be my peer. I'll always be the elder. Like her aunt.
Of course you'd be her aunt. Balia was more than just another goddess to us. She was our sister. You and I are twins, but as the Aoella created us, we're all siblings.
Wow, I never really thought about it like that.
Who's dumb now?
Ugh, shut up. You're the worst.
I'm going to miss seeing little Senra around here. She was really fun to tell stories to.
She always had me play games with her, which was pretty cool. I suppose I'll miss her too.
Yeah, me 3.
The cosmic sea, the barrier between the realm of the gods and goddesses and the mortal realm, splashed against the shore. Divine winds rushed past the 3 of them, and Yakon closed his eyes in the sheer bliss of it all. However, in the quiet moment, Yakon's skin crawled a little, because one of them was missing. Coupled with the discomfort, a small ache still rumbled in his heart, like thunder.
Do you think she's happy?
Happy living as an Aoella? As a Shanado? I'm sure she is. She has her lover, her Aoella best friend, and her daughter can grow up around her family.
Not all her family. Don't forget, we're her family too.
Yeah, that's true. I had so many more stories to tell Senra, too.
You mentioned that you had a feeling for a long time. So, do you think she's happier?
No one said anything, and even the wind stopped blowing as hard, as if it also waited for an answer. The longer the silence lingered, the more prickly the anxiousness in Yakon's chest became.
I do think she's happier. Not because we're not there, but because she finally gets to experience something new.
You mean growing old? Withering? And eventually dying?
Well, she's not growing old and withering alone. She has loved ones around her. And from what I've gathered, the Aoella see the whole process of growing old as a tremendous journey, leading to the start of a new adventure. I can see the appeal of doing what she did.
Really? Why's that?
I'm the god of stories. What is existence if not one long story? For us, there was a beginning and a middle. But unless something drastic happens to us, we don't end. There's no conclusion. Stories need conclusions. Otherwise, they're just ramblings.
So the lives of gods and goddesses are just ramblings in the scale of the universe?
Pretty much. For Balia, she will have a conclusion to a wonderful story.
A conclusion to a wonderful story, huh? What if we also did that?
What? Are you seriously asking what I think you're asking?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've done the whole god and goddess gig for a couple of thousand years. Maybe it's time for something new?
But giving up our godhood and goddesshood would make us vulnerable to sickness and eventually death.
But, I mean, like, what's after this? So many Aoella either become guardian spirits, revenge spirits, or they go somewhere else. Do you ever wonder where that is?
Yeah, I have before. You're awfully quiet about this. What are your thoughts?
You were already planning on following Balia's actions, weren't you?
Of course he was. Always the story chaser. So you both are planning on leaving me then?
We won't be leaving you if you come with us.
You know, if you don't come, then Rin gets to claim the mantle of the ultimate best friend.
How dare you!
Ah, that was cold!
Well, it's true, though. It will probably take 5 Aoella years for us to drain our godhoods and goddesshoods. Now, the longer we wait to do this...
Yekka hopped to her feet and she moved off toward where the other gods and goddesses were gathered.
Where are you going, sis?
You know where I'm going, you prick. Move your asses!
Yakon leapt to his feet and then helped Mojo Jala up.
Uwita really might explode this time.
Well, I hope they'll let us join Balia, since we don't have heirs or anyone who might take our places one day.
That's not our problem. Although we were the only ones left in the population pool who weren't related to the others directly. Do you think we're doing the right thing? I mean, it's a little scary.
Well, yes, it is. But we'll have one another. And at the very end of it all, we'll have grand conclusions worthy for each of us.
And so, Yakon and Mojo Jala hurried along to catch up with Yekka, to change their lives forever.